roads.
You can love us even longer. Me love long time at KLBJFM.com.
Welcome back aboard the mothership. Matt, Bob, and B-DOE, our good friend, Bob Fonseca, also known as the Bob Father, or
thank you,
La Tahiti.
No, it's the place I'm going to open. It's going to be a
club.
It's a club I'm going to open.
You have been excellent as of late in scoring some really fun interviews for us. Today's no exception. We've all been looking forward to it, but
I know I have.
Why don't you tell us who we're going to have on the phone?
Right on the other end of the phone, we've got Melissa Barrera, the star, the central character in the new Scream movie, which, by the way, has just knocked all three Spider-Men, all three Peter Parkers off of their perch to be the #1 movie in the United States of America on a month where people are going back to the movies finally. And this is a good one. This is a good popcorn movie. Let's bring on Melissa.
Good morning, Melissa. You there?
Hang on a second.
Hang on a second. Yeah. Good morning. Oh, it's my fault.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have her on. I had her
you
on
got to turn the phone on.
Melissa, I'm new to my job.
Hey,
so I don't
how
know
you
what I'm
doing?
Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, everyone. How are you?
We're good. Is this early or late for you to get up?
It's
pretty early.
Kind of early, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the invite.
Oh, well, I was a little out of my comfort zone. I will say that I met Melissa a week or two ago, and you know this about me, Matt. I've met lots of people, and I'll forget that I'm on the radio and forget to ask them to do the show, or I'll just be too afraid, too nervous to ask. But I went way out of my comfort zone and asked you to do the show, and you so graciously agreed to talk to us. But you had one condition, that I go and my family go and some of our friends go see Scream.
Yeah.
Last weekend, and you made the.
Tell me how that was with you and your son.
Let me tell you, it was first of all, and then you made another condition, if you remember, that we had to go back and watch one of either the first Scream or some of the others in the franchise, so that we could get all the Easter eggs or some of the Easter eggs in the movie. So let me tell you, that was a fun night out with the boys and some friends, and we had a great time. There are lots of Easter eggs and surprises, and it's a movie that I think everybody can enjoy. And I found myself, I think, laughing maybe in inappropriate places, but that's just to relieve the tension. But congratulations for being a part of that.
We discussed it earlier this morning. This is Matt. I was pretty stoked because Bob usually won't go see any kind of horror movies, anything, because he doesn't like getting creeped out. He can't sleep at night. So you must have a special magic to get him out there to check it out.
You know what? It's so funny because Bob is telling the story that he asked me to come on the show, but the truth is that he didn't. It was his wife.
Well, no, I speak to Melissa through my wife.
Wow, it's usually that's the best way to speak to other women is through your wife. That just keeps the lines of communication open. But I think it's funny that Jennifer's the one that so we should actually send a check to Jennifer's house.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the beginning for a second, because not to creep you out, but I went and looked at your Wikipedia and your IMDb last night. Holy cow, you've done so much stuff.
I feel like I've lived 1,000 lives.
In Mexico, so you're from Monterrey, Mexico, and we can speak to that in a second, but you've done everything in Mexico that a person in show business could do. Reality show, musicals, television shows, movies. You've dropped some albums. It just goes on and on. Yeah, you conquered Mexico.
Melissa, do you come from an artistic family? Is there already a history there?
No, actually, I'm the first one in my family to do all of this. It was very foreign. It was so foreign to my family that at the beginning, when I told my mom that I wanted to go to school for theater, she laughed. She thought I was joking.
She laughed?
Yeah, she laughed. She thought I was fully joking. She was like, oh, how funny. So what do you really want to do? And I was like, no, actually, I do want to go to school for that. And she was like, oh. And then she's the most supportive mother anyone could ever ask for. But it was such a, like a weird thing because no one in my family has ever done anything like this.
So were you?
And now my youngest sister is also going to school for acting.
So was your initial, as a child, thing, like, I don't know if you even had a connection to the United States when you were younger, but was your initial thing Hollywood? Did you have your sights on Hollywood or Broadway, or was it a dream?
Yeah, it was Broadway. Broadway was my initial, goal.
You say you went to school for theater. I see here on your CV that I see NYU listed. Did you go to Tisch School of Arts?
Did you do a background check on me? How do you have my CV?
No, I did. Matt just took a guess.
I don't have your CV. What we do is we have a rundown sheet so we know what questions to ask you. We're not creepy, but I did see NYU, and then I'm trying to put two and two together.
Yeah, I went to Tisch. I went to the CAP 21 program that was a part of Tisch. I was actually the last generation to go into that program because then they changed it. But yeah, I did a few years in New York, and I just thought, I was like, oh, cool. I got into NYU.
Well, you didn't just get into NYU. We should let people know. I mean, there was a show that some of the older listeners will remember called Fame, and it was based on Tisch. I mean, it was the Tisch School of Arts is very competitive. So you obviously had talent to even go there. I like how you're just like, oh yeah, I went, no big deal. Like you're I understand that you're a humble person, but already at a young age, you were already showing a lot of promise.
Well, I was a very, as happens with the youngsters, with young people, and I feel like it was a million years ago in like middle school and high school, I was very confident in like my talent.
Like?
And I was like, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, it's tough, like, if we want to get super deep this early in the morning, but it's a thing that, like, you start to lose as you go out into the real world. Because it can be so harsh.
So you were on a Mexican, what do they call it? A telenovela. You did those, but the reality show. So you were in some kind of musical reality show that was kind of like a cross between Big Brother and music or something?
And American Idol, yeah.
La Academia was the name of the show. What was that like? What's the concept there?
It was awful. It was so awful.
But something good came. God. I know one good thing came out of it.
Yeah, one good thing.
Okay,
but I did that show, and reality TV is honestly, it's insane. But the good thing about me starting in reality TV and that competition is that when I watch reality TV, I feel so empathetic to what these people are going through, because I know that it's, everyone has to be at a point of almost being able to explode all the time for like ratings sake. And because they have to like make it dramatic.
That's scripted, a little bit scripted.
Real life is not dramatic all the time, so for it to be entertaining to people, they need to instigate certain situations. And so for me at 21, when I was in there, it was just very stressful.
And you say in there because you were living, the musicians, unlike American Idol, the musicians were living together, right?
Yeah, we were all living in a tiny fake house together. And I mean fake house because it was on a soundstage. So it wasn't even real. We didn't have any windows.
It's funny how we use the term reality television, and there's nothing real about reality television.
Nothing real about it. What did come out about it that was real was my husband. That's where I met my husband.
Right.
11 years ago now.
Yeah.
You say that very unsure.
Very confidently.
You got to get it figured out.
It was 2011, but it was technically, because we're in 2022 now, so it would be 11 years ago, but it wasn't until August. So that's why I'm like almost 11 years ago.
Melissa, B-DOE here. First off, happy Friday, Luya Eve. Congrats on the success of Scream. We got a big fan of yours in the building. His name is Israel, and he's a huge fan of the Scream franchise and of you. He's got posters of you everywhere. I'm sure it's not creepy. I've never been in his bedroom. Could you do us, I got a follow-up to this, but could you do us a favor and just give us your best over the phone? Do you like scary movies?
Oh my gosh, I'm terrible at that. I'm not Roger L. Jackson. I'm not scary. I'm not even gonna try. I can ask him though.
No.
Israel, if you're listening, what's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
man, I
All
think
right, you
his
gotta
head
clip
just
that and give it to
exploded.
him. So let's get on to so before Scream, you were in a little thing called In the Heights. Were you discovered, or how did that come about? How did you get to meet Lin-Manuel Miranda? That was, he was co-writer of that and had a lot to do with the making of that. How did you make that transition from the Mexico thing, the NYU thing to being in a musical of that scale?
Yeah, In the Heights was a crazy, crazy full circle experience for me because I was in New York in school when In the Heights was on Broadway. And it automatically became my favorite musical because it was a musical about Latinos.
Right.
There was a Mexican flag on stage. They mentioned Mexico. They look like me. They talk like me. I was like, oh my God, this is why I want to do Broadway. Like, this is the show for me, And I became obsessed as a musical theater nerd that I was. And I would take everyone that came to visit me at NYU to go see it. And then I started auditioning for it. And every open casting call that they would have, I would be at. Like, I would wake up at 5 a.m., do my, vocal warm-ups, line up outside of Bernie Telsey casting agency, and try, to get cast. And I never did. For 2 years, I did that.
Wow.
And then, 10 years later, I moved to LA right about the time where they're starting casting for the film. And I was like, this is a sign from the universe. This is so meant to be. And it was a long audition process. It was like a year from when I sent my first tape in to when I actually got cast. And I didn't meet Lynn until the second to last callback where it was the chemistry reads. Mm-hmm. And I met him and I was completely starstruck by this man, this genius of a man.
He's a force.
When you get a call and you knew that you were going to be in the movie, did things settle for you? Did it feel real right away? And if you could touch too, like you said, you had a lot of confidence growing up. And is that where some of the confidence starts to fall apart? Because you're like, what if?
Yeah, it does. I mean, auditioning is always nerve-wracking. It's always horrible because you have one chance, a few minutes, to show why you're good enough for this role.
That's it. You're in there sometimes for 2 minutes.
I've done it, and you don't know if you should go over the top or be subtle.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're looking for.
It never feels like it's enough time. It never seems fair. You're so nervous.
And sometimes for somebody who doesn't know, if you're going to a casting call, sometimes you're waiting in a room with 4 other people that look a lot like you, and it's hard not to compare yourself to other people. And you're like, can I be the best me, or is one of these people the better me? It's nerve-wracking.
And when you're talking about a musical audition, in this audition process, we all had to sing, right? And so we're outside of the room, and the walls are paper thin.
Right.
So we can hear everyone going in and killing the songs and just being incredible at that. And so it just makes you more nervous and less confident. And it's just a horrible process. But when I finally got the call, I just thought, I can die now. I was like, okay,
that's good.
I feel like this everything that I've worked for my entire life has been leading up to this moment, and I just felt like I was literally floating off of the ground.
Well, let's talk about Scream a little bit, and because that's the movie that's out now, and it's doing really well, and it's got its legion of fans. And then we're going to play a little game with you that we play with a lot of celebrities over the years. It's called the Dennis Quaid game, which will have kind of a connection to you in a way, won't it? It won't. It will have a connection. Okay, so Scream. All right. I had no idea until I met you and I started looking into Scream. It wasn't part of my world necessarily. I knew about it. I had no idea there's a whole metaverse of Scream in itself, almost like Marvel-esque kind of background to this franchise, and just all the different Easter eggs and intricacies and characters and reoccurring characters. Did you have to go through some kind of education process, like a Scream school, to learn everything about the franchise?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I got the audition, like as soon as I heard about this new movie being made, I obviously did a deep dive, and I went and I rewatched all the movies that I had seen. I actually hadn't seen the fourth one. I had only seen the first three, but I went back and rewatched them, studied them. I wanted to really get into the world and the tone and everything because these movies are so specific. It's like what Wes Craven did in '96 with the first Scream was so revolutionary and smart in the way that, and Kevin Williamson, the way that he wrote the script with this like very hilarious self-awareness of
right.
like
They're tributes to the genre, right?
Yeah, and they turn the camera around onto the whole genre itself.
Yeah, and that's why Bob was saying that he was laughing at inappropriate parts. He wasn't laughing at inappropriate parts. It's just a very funny movie.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Like
Good.
that.
I was a little nervous. It's like, should I, when this person's getting really stabby, should I be laughing at that?
Am I a
It's just-
sociopath?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, there's some stabbing going on. Okay.
What?
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny, like that's it. I think it serves the purpose of like relieving the tension of the very bloody and violent kill scenes that are terrifying.
right.
But
Well,
you have all this like comedy to relieve it.
Melissa, when you were filming this, because we kind of went over our favorite horror movies earlier in the show, did this trigger any like nightmares for you? Did you have sleepless nights? Did you have any fever dreams while filming this?
No, actually, I didn't. And I usually I'm very much a scaredy cat, and for a while in my life until I did Scream, I had stopped watching horror movies because I had been traumatized by a few movies in my young teenage years, like Saw and a movie called 13 Ghosts that I just really fucked with me because I think I was way too young to be watching it. But then I stopped. And so doing Scream kind of made me fall back in love with the genre. And I think being behind the scenes and shooting a horror movie really helped me to like not be scared anymore.
That's cool.
And I was like literally, because we Matt and Tyler gave us a list of like horror movies to watch. To all the cast, they just gave us a list of like their favorite scary movies, and we could all add to the list. And we just like had that thing where we could do research and like get into the genre. And I was watching a lot of scary movies, and I found myself very peacefully going to sleep. I don't know if that's a little it makes me a psycho, but like I
You're
actually,
amongst friends.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we'll have to have you back to talk more Scream. Congratulations. It's still obviously in the theaters. I recommend people go see it. Go see it with a lot of people because it's a fun group kind of watch. To watch your friends, see when they jump, when they laugh. It's a great popcorn movie. But right now, we've got to play the Dennis Quaid game with you. And the Dennis Quaid game is called the Dennis Quaid game because Dennis Quaid was the first star in the studio to play this game with us.
Oh,
so we named it
wow,
after him. Now, Jack Quaid in the movie Scream plays your love interest. He plays your boyfriend. That's all I'll say about it.
And that's Dennis
Jack.
Quaid's son.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it seems like you guys had a lot of fun working together. And I know you got to meet Courtney Cox and some heroes of yours and all that. But the Dennis Quaid game, you've got an extensive IMDb. And we are going to go through, I'm going to name a project, and you're going to tell us the name of your character in that project.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what they all say. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You need to
Okay.
get 3 out of 5, and if you get 3 out of
Oh my
5
God.
correct, you win a brand new set of steak knives. We'll ship them
Really?
anywhere in the world, yes.
Don't worry, they generally get lost in the mail. In
They-
fact, I don't think they've ever shown up to any celebrity's house yet.
Right. Okay?
Great.
And
Okay.
so here we
But
go.
if you want to give us your home address over the air, then we'll make sure to get them mailed to you.
Yeah. How about that?
So it's a big prize. It's worth like $14 or $15. So okay, so I might botch some of these names. I'm going to do my best. Okay, here we go. La Academia. Who did you play?
Well, Bob, you know that was me.
Yes.
Okay, all right. But give
1
her a
point.
ding.
1
I'm just
point.
working you in with a.
Melissa.
I want you to win.
Yeah, you're
Thank
already.
you.
I
Oh,
want
this
you
is
one.
so
Do you
nice
want to
of
pick
you.
one, Matt? Go ahead and pick one. Number
So
two.
nice of
You're
you.
Okay, back in 2014. Let's go with Siempre Tuya Acapulco.
oh, very nice pronunciation.
I'm trying to seem
That-
impressive.
That was very good, Matt.
Well, I'm from Brownsville, so English is kind of my second language, even though I don't really understand Spanish. It's a mangled mess. But do you remember who you played in 2014?
Yes, I actually, because that telenovela was the first telenovela that I ever was the lead of, and they're still airing it right now in different countries, and I get comments about it all the time. So my character's name was Olvido Perez.
Correct. I did
Yeah.
go with the thing that I saw that you did 124 episodes, and I was hoping you
Yeah.
would remember your name.
Just
Yeah.
one more to win the steak knives. Beto, do you want to pick one out?
Let's make it tougher.
Let's go deep. Back in the day, 2014. Melissa, who did you play in L for Leisure?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
There you go.
See, it's easy in the beginning, isn't it? It gets a little tougher.
I feel like it was a really cool name. Like I remember, because it was a film that I did while I was at NYU, and I didn't get paid for it. And I was like, I don't care. I just want experience. Oh my God! What was it? It was like a president's name. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
you're on.
You're
You're
getting
on.
on the right-
Yes?
It's not
Oh
Nixon.
my God! Oh my God!
It's not Eisenhower.
Yeah, you did not play Obama.
Is it? It's not Reagan.
It's not Reagan.
No, but
That'd
that would be a
great.
No,
good
no,
one.
no. Wait, hold on.
What are you gonna? Are you on a computer right now?
Yes,
Is
this
she
is what she's
Googling?
doing.
Are you Googling
It's
yourself?
not, it's not
I really
fair.
don't.
We're gonna give you a 0 on this one. It was Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy. Oh yeah. I
Oh, yeah.
remember. I
Oh,
love
yeah, you
that
remember.
name.
Now you remember.
Now you remember.
You went through Lincoln, Washington. I'm actually good job. 2016, El Hotel.
No, you're killing me. I don't know. Wait, no.
It must be nice to be in so many movies
Yeah.
and so many shows.
My
that
favorite
you
thing
don't
about
remember.
this game is that I think everyone always thinks it's going to be kind of easy because we start them off
Right.
easy, and then they're like, I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
El Hotel. Wait, what? Can you give me a clue? Can you give me what letter it
Starts with a K. We'll give you a clue because
Yeah.
we gotta go to commercials.
Oh,
and
I know.
Okay.
I know.
It's not
Karina.
a president.
Karina.
It is Karina.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
All right,
the
you
steak
win.
knives
You
are on
win
their
the
way.
set of 6 steak knives. We'll send them to you somewhere, wherever you are in the world. You work all over the world. I got to tell a quick story before we go, and I want to thank you for being here. But the other day we were talking, and somehow the conversation got around to turntables, and I was thinking at the time, is there anything hotter in this world than a woman talking about stereo equipment?
I think
that
that's
gets
your
me-
dream girl,
That
right?
just turns me on so much.
Are you into hi-fi?
I actually, I mean, I'm gonna let you down because I was actually talking about turntables to get you to tell me what I should do with my turntable because I haven't been able to figure it out.
Well,
I don't know. I don't
will
know
be.
much about equipment at all.
That's even hotter to think about. Yeah, I will be your consultant. I will be.
Okay.
I told Jennifer I would love to be your hi-fi consultant because it's always surprising to me that because you're a great musician. I know your husband's a great musician, and it's always amazing to me that I know so many musicians and they don't have good sound systems at home. Like that
Yeah.
seems like counterintuitive. Seems
Yeah.
like you would be rocking a major so, but we'll work on that. Thank you so
Thank
much.
God.
Yeah. Make
Thank
Bob.
God for your friendship, Bob. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Absolutely.
well,
Make Bob come
pleasure's
over
mine.
and run all your speaker wire and put all that together. He's good at it.
Straighten
but
out
also,
the paintings on your walls.
yeah, he could. Yeah, he's a little
I
OCD
do
as well.
straighten. I do straighten paintings when
Yeah.
I go to people's houses. Yeah,
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
taking the time with us today. We really appreciate it, Melissa.
and
Thank you
congratulations
for the invite.
and much more
Thank you,
success.
guys.
And when you're in town, if you're ever in town, you want to do radio, you want to hang out with the boys, you are welcome.
yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna take you up on that.
You can hang.
awesome. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Melissa.
She's great. Thank you so much
Dude,
for
she's
arranging
done
that,
so
man.
much. She's like,
It's just really nice.
blowing up.
Yeah, that's
Like a
it's,
year from now, you're going to go, oh, she was on the Matt, Bob, and B-DOE show. I remember.
That was just it was a cool series of events that you got to bump into and have that happen, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Speaking of bumping into somebody in just the right way, Valentine's Day around the corner, and if you and your significant other like to, well, bump into each other, Taboo Lingerie